Alberti bass is one of those piano patterns that looks simple on the page, but can cause some frustration for beginners. If you've ever thought, why does this feel harder than it should, you're not alone. In this video, I'll show you what Alberti bass actually is, what things about it can sometimes trip students up, and how to practice it so it feels smooth instead of stressful. So the first thing that's going to help when we are dealing with Alberti bass is to understand what it is. It's not just a finger pattern, it's actually a broken chord. And a good way to see that is to look at something, well, that shows us an Alberti bass pattern. I'm going to borrow from my Level 1 course book that I've written. I'm using Sonatina in G by Thomas Atwood. And if we look at, basically, I'm going to just focus on this first line just to keep this video kind of short and give you an idea of what it is. But basically, you want to understand that you're just looking at chords, right? Because a lot of times when we play piano music, often the right hand has a melody and the right hand has chords as a harmony. Sometimes those chords are blocked, so I could do, I could do something like that and use blocked chords. But by using Alberti bass, those chords are basically just broken. They're the same chords. See how it lends kind of a different sound to the music? It makes it flow a little bit more. It's a little bit smoother. And just understanding what these chords are makes this so much simpler to understand what it is we're playing. And very briefly, I can show you exactly what that is. If we look at our key signature here, we see 1 sharp, that's F sharp. That indicates that we are in the key or the scale of G major. Okay, and if we just start breaking down a couple of the chords in this scale, if I look at G, well, that's the first note in the G scale, right? I could just simply stack up notes in thirds. G, B, D, here is my 1 chord. So now what I've got is the first chord in G major, if you know anything about primary chords. If you don't, that's not a big deal. Just put that part on the shelf. You can still understand exactly what I'm saying here. All I'm going to do is take this chord and I'm going to play bottom, top, middle, top. Or to do that a bit more legato. Okay, so that's what he did with this chord right here, is he simply took a G chord and broke it apart. Now our next chord is the 5-7 chord from that same scale. Okay, and depending on your theory knowledge, this chord starts on D. It's built on the 5th tone in the G scale. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We could make a full-blown 5-7 chord by playing D, up a third to F sharp, up a third to A, up a third to C. And at some point, we might be doing that. But in this case, our composer has chosen to use an inversion of that chord, which is a little bit easier to move in and out of, but it's the same idea. We're just going to take, this is the inverted form. We're going to go bottom, top, middle, top. And that's just going to give us a different flow to the piece. Okay, so now that we understand where Alberti bass has come from, it's time to kind of look at another way to help you play this. As I mentioned, these are chords, right? So sometimes what we can do is we can block this chord, and that's what it's called when you play all 3 notes at the same time. We can block this next chord right here, and sometimes that's an easier way. Sometimes I will have students just play through the left hand using blocked chords. So if I were to start with that first line, I would have a 1 chord, the 5-7, the 1, the 5-7, 5-7, and the 1. if we're looking just at this first line of music. And that's a good way to feel the shape of that chord in your hand. So this idea, this understanding the chord before playing the pattern, is something I focus a lot on in my piano course, which you can find at pianoplayingmadesimple.com. A lot of beginners struggle not because they're doing something wrong, but because no one really ever showed them how these patterns work. So if you want a step-by-step approach that builds these skills in the right order, you can learn more at pianoplayingmadesimple.com. I've got a link down below. Go ahead and click that and you can take off on your piano journey. But let's keep going from here. Let's look a little bit more at what to do with Alberti bass. Because now that we understand it's a chord, and we've moved from blocking to playing the individual notes, well, the next thing that's going to come up is rhythm. And we need to stay nice and steady. Now, something I also talk about in my course is the art of subdivision. And it really is an art. It takes a little bit of getting used to, but when you master it, it opens up literally every rhythm there is. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that each note in Alberti bass takes up equal space. And the easiest way to do this is by using subdivision. In other words, counting with ands. So if I were to start playing, let's just focus on this first measure and keep this simple. I would start by counting with ands. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So if I play this, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. By counting this way, it ensures that each one of those notes is equally spaced, and it kind of acts like a spacer. It keeps the notes from crowding each other. When we add the right hand in, this is going to be even more important. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. See how that spaces everything nice and evenly. And you can get to doing that very easily. It's a skill that you can acquire, and it just makes everything flow so much better. And it really isn't that hard after you've practiced it for a little bit. Now, another problem that we can sometimes run into with Alberti bass is the issue of tension, and this can be common. If you aren't paying attention to holding a lot of tension in your shoulders, it has a way of creeping down all the way into your hands. So if I demonstrate, again, I'm going to use the same measure, but I'm going to purposely play with very stiff hands. The first little bit there. Okay. That was very stiff. I purposely put tension in my hands. It had kind of a wooden sound to it almost. But now let me take the tension out. Let me relax. Let my body move naturally the way it was meant to. And let's see if this sounds a bit different. It had more of a flow to it. I felt more relaxed. It was more fun to play. The motion tends to be a little bit more sideways here. It's not so much up and down, and that gives you that nice, relaxed feeling. Now, something else that we need to watch for is the thumb. Sometimes the thumb has a tendency to want to turn into a bit of a hammer. You can do this. If you go up too far, you can kind of whack it down on the key. Now, I'm purposely playing with a heavy thumb here. So you don't want this. You're not going to come up in the air and strike it. You're going to stay close to the keys. That way, one note doesn't sound far louder than the other ones around it. And a lot of times that's just being aware. That's not difficult. You just need to be aware of it. And then finally, what we need to remember is that Alberti bass is an accompaniment. It supports the melody. It doesn't compete with it. And that's what I was talking about earlier. It's a question of tone balance. We need to make sure that the right hand sings out here. If I let the left hand get too loud, it's going to sound more like this. In that example, I tried to do the hands about the same volume each. Yes, the melody was there, but it didn't stand out. So remember, we need to kind of subdue this. I'll do this one last time. Hear how my right hand's coming out? Left hand is there. It's supporting the melody. It's not drowning it out. So basically, when Alberti bass feels difficult, it's usually not because the pattern is hard. It's just because of these things. Maybe not understanding the chord, the rhythm getting a bit uneven, a little too much tension creeping in there, or maybe just not balancing out the melody versus the harmony. So the best way to correct all of this is slow practice, blocked chords, and subdivision to fix most of these problems faster than you might expect. So if you want more lessons like this that break piano playing down into simple, manageable steps, you can check out Piano Playing Made Simple at pianoplayingmadesimple.com.